Morning all. I've been working pretty hard lately on this project. It's going really well. But I found myself this week going out of my workshop and into another workshop quite a bit. Helping other people do some other things that need doing, so they can move on to the next stage of their life and have fun and do what they need to do. And then this morning I thought, well, hey, maybe I'll do a post on Atlas. We've been, all the engineering stuff I've been doing lately, I've been looking at how it could be more productive and memory and etc. Which then I thought, actually, I need to leave my own workshop and just get away. Because, sometimes the best decisions are made outside your own workshop. At the moment, I'm sitting down here, beautiful Bayless Reserve. It's a beautiful spot, very tranquil, But anyway, to stop waffling on, it got me thinking about more. More. We live in a really exciting world at the moment. Like, it is really exciting, but it's also the most fucked up it's ever been. The most biggest contradiction ever. There's some amazing shit going on. We're looking at flying to Mars, satellites with internet, and, it's truly amazing. But then we've got all this fucked up shit happening too. Which brought me back to more. Have we reached a point where more has become too much? It starts right in our hands, our phones. They're always notifications, likes, videos, more. We want you more. It just keeps going right up the scale. Have we reached the level where more is no longer attainable? I've personally never wanted more. I got caught in the trap of more. But for me, I just wanted a sustainable life for me and my family. So we can sustain and have a good life and live it. We've got 24-hour shopping, 7 days a week, right down to business level. Customers, they want more. Can we actually give more? I don't think we can. I think we've hit the boundary of more. I was going to do another video this morning. I've got a script sitting here all for it. And yeah, I think, we've hit the level where more is no longer attainable. Doesn't mean that innovation stops, but more just, I don't think it's good enough anymore. Owning more things, having more money. Everything we do in life is more. I'll work more. I'll earn more. I'll give more likes. It's everything is demanding more. Right up to our geopolitical. It's all about more. Everything is about more. And I think we've really hit that limit where more is not the answer anymore. I actually think we need to stop. I think we need to pause. I think we need to reflect. And I think we need to start thinking better. I think we need to start going and having coffees and talking with people and really discussing our thoughts. Having conversation about it. Asking questions. Like, just ask questions. I've been going through a bit of history stuff as well, just to look at how certain things happened over time and that. And one of the phrases that really popped out to me that was freaking awesome was George Washington. I can truly say I had rather be at Mount Vernon with a friend or two about me than to be attend at the seat of government by the officers of state and the representatives of every power in Europe. The charm and simplicity of the place and the beauty of the scenery never failed to give me the highest pleasure. We were talking about a man that invited two opposing sides to his house for dinner to sort a problem. He knew people need to sit down and talk and converse. And this is the whole philosophy behind Atlas. Is we need to slow our roll down. We don't need to stop. We need to slow down. And instead of asking for more, you know, how can we do it better? Not more. More is no more attainable. We've hit the level of more. There is, you know, yeah. I'm just trying to see if I've missed anything off my notes, because we really, I truly believe we've hit the level of more. There's no more. You know, we're seeing that community's been more broken than ever. Right across the whole spectrum, you know. We just can't keep giving more and more and more. It's time to pause and let's start making better decisions for everybody. Yeah, I don't think I've got anything else to say. I think we need to pause. We need to stop. We need to reflect. We need to just make discussions, ask questions, talk, think better.